Hi, Cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Simnai Online. I hope you are great. So I came across these videos where this woman was talking about how they are dismantling the system. But the system they are dismantling is not the one you think, right? Because last I checked, the system was not built with people that look like me in mind and other people of color. But I am not agitating for them. I am talking for my own people, right? Now, the system they are dismantling is actually for them because they are looking for a way to put things in place in a way that it will suit them more than any other person. Black people are also working to dismantle the system. Black people are not only working to dismantle the system for them alone, they are working to dismantle the system in a way that it will fit them and fit every other person that deserves that. Check both of them. Now, there are so many things. And the other woman was talking about how enslavement wasn't for black people, it was for them. And she gave her reason. Now, let me tell you something. There is something that I've noticed because so far you can see how scared these people are. They are scared of everything. They don't want to lose this. They don't want to lose that. That is to tell you how far they are trying to keep everything within their reach in order not to bring in an external person that will scatter things. But trust me, this might not go so far because they are already feeling the heat over how Democrats won. Are they scared? They are scared. Every day they are scared. Why are they scared? Scared of violence. But last I checked, my people are not the ones that are violent. They are. Let's get into this video.
They are dismantling the system, but not for the reasons you think. Now, I, for one, have stated for several years that this country was never a democracy. It's always been a fascist government. A country built on genocide and enslavement is not a country that is democratic. When people scream, we're saving democracy, or we need to save democracy, they're lying to you because this has never been a democracy. In a democracy, people are not fighting for basic human rights. And people in this country have been fighting for basic human rights ever since those motherfuckers got here. They're dismantling the system because the system has evolved in a way that is too democratic for them. It's allowing too many people to have privileges that only they had. They're dismantling it because they want to go back to the original foundation of this country, which is genocide, enslavement, supremacy, equality for the white elite, not for anybody else. So this is a rare opportunity for all marginalized communities to understand that we can take advantage of them dismantling the system. Let the empire fall. And while it's falling and burning, build community. Because the thing that will actually save us and protect us is our communities. This is why they've worked so hard for so many generations to disrupt and destroy communities. Because community is power. And in community, you build unity. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to let the system fall, and taking care of each other and our most vulnerable will be what saves us as everything else gets destroyed. And then we can rebuild, and they will be destroyed. Their power stripped from them. Their money, their riches, their wealth, worthless. They're only as powerful as we allow them to be powerful. Their money is only worth anything because we allow it to be worth anything. Their ideologies live on because we uphold them. Do you want to continue living under the same systems that control you, that you complain about, that you stress over on a day-to-day? Or do you want to live in communities that actually give a fuck and treat you like you're human? We all got choices. What are you going to choose?
I have this crazy theory that white people are next. That white people are the ultimate goal, actually, when it comes to enslavement. All right, now wait, hey, listen, hear me out. Narcissists, which is what we have in the White House, what we have controlling our government right now, are highly individualistic people. These are people who will work together with another narcissist like Elon Musk and Trumpy whenever it benefits them. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they care about themselves and themselves only. And what do narcissists want? They want control. They want ultimate power and control over everything and everybody. Like, I think a lot of people think that racism is like where it stops for a narcissist. Is like, oh, once I have all the white people doing great and I'm oppressing and controlling all people of color, I'm good to go. As a narcissist, no. As a narcissist, there is never enough power and control that you have. That's why all these billionaires want to now become centibillionaires, and the centibillionaires want to become trillionaires, and the trillionaires want to own their own islands and own their own cities and own their own states. Like, and then the once they conquer the world, they want to go to space. Like, there is never enough when it comes to power and control from the perspective of a narcissist. And then not only is there never enough power and control, but they also enjoy like getting power and control over people who are like labeled uncontrollable or labeled like too powerful. So it's one thing for a narcissist to like find their victim and their victim be like, you know, a young person, a child, or just someone who's an easy target. And they'll take an easy target because these people are lazy. They're the laziest people that you're ever going to meet. But if they have the opportunity to conquer and control someone who is a difficult target, someone who is like revered in society, oh, they're going to take the opportunity every single time, because that to them is like the ultimate ego boost. It is the ultimate like, huzzah, look at me. I'm big and powerful and in control of this big, powerful person or this big, powerful group of people. So I was just thinking, so I've been noodling over this for some while, and I'm like, of course they're going to start with people of color, but the way that they are, getting rid of all of the immigrants and non-immigrants, honestly, but anyone who's brown, essentially, they're getting rid of all of them, and then they're trying to even round up black people, which is like, okay. But people were saying like, oh, they're trying to get rid of all of the brown people so that it can be, like enslavement of black people and then white people. And while I think there's truth to that, I'm like, the elite are not going, it's like they're not going to stop at black people, and they never have actually cared about the working class white people. Like, throughout all of history, before racism was even a thing, just in Europe, it was the rich elite kings and queens, and then the servants and the peasants that were white people. And they did things to divide the working class white people up into class, they did things to divide and conquer that group of people, because they knew there are more of them than they are of us. And so we have to do something to make them feel like, they have some sort of power, some sort of autonomy, some sort of control, although they never actually do anything to give working class people power, autonomy, and control, because they never actually want to give up any of their own power, autonomy, and control. So it's been like centuries of rich white people controlling, hurting, and harming poor white people, but they have just been like doing it now in a way that through racism. So like, they've been doing it in a way where it looks like the white people are not being discriminated against, but I've been making videos now that white people have, like, racism hurts white people a lot, and they use the fear that they have created in white people of color in order to exploit white people for their money. They've been doing that for years and years and years. Like, oh my God, look at these scary black people moving into your neighborhood. You should pay extra high prices to go live in this neighborhood that I want you to live in, or you should pay extra high prices to be in HOA. Like, they would pay black people and black women to like walk down white neighborhoods and with their strollers, or like pay black men to ride down the street with loud music on, so that they could generate fear in white people, so that white people would then do what they wanted them to do. Like, they've been using fear to control the white population in America since the dawn of time. And so that is, white people are being exploited by racism. They just don't know it. And so it's just like, they never cared about white people. They never cared about poor white people specifically, working class white people specifically. They never cared about them. And they've just made you think that because there have been benefits and perks to being the highest social class in this controlled society. But white people have been the highest social class, but there's always been a little asterisk there that says only if, like, you're really highest social class if you're rich, which is why white people have this this consumerist culture to show off that they are rich, because within like the racial caste system, there are black people, brown people, Asian people, Japanese and Chinese specifically, and then white people at the top. But on top of those white people are always going to be rich white people. And so white people have always had this, I need more money. Anyways, that's a little tangent there. But long story short is, white people are next. You guys are going to be enslaved, just like the rest of us. You will, and I think that they would prefer it almost. I think that they would prefer it because it would stroke their egos that they were able to enslave the highest social class of people. And they would just enjoy putting working class white people like in their place, to let them know you're no better than anyone, because I actually have all the power, because I am this narcissistic, rich, dictator, crazy person. And so you have to listen to me, and you have to kiss my ass, because that is your place in society. So anyways, those are just my thoughts. Good luck, everyone.
That racists try to portray the United States in a better light is to constantly throw around this idea that only 1.6% or somewhere around there of people owned slaves at the eve of the Civil War. This is misleading because they're looking at the wrong statistic. They're dividing the total population of the United States by the number of self-proclaimed slave owners or slave holders at the time. Why can't you do this? Well, because you have to take out the northern population, because nobody owned slaves in the north. So if you look at the South and you divide it again, you get about 5.8%, maybe. It rises a bit. But again, that's not the whole picture, because there were two groups that couldn't own slaves at that time, women and children. So when you look at only white men that were able to own property, you get a much higher number, and you get as close to 25 to 30% of households owned slaves, roughly 1/3 of the Confederacy. Now, this varied from state to state, with I think Mississippi having the highest, almost 50%. This doesn't capture the whole picture, again, because you would have neighbors that would borrow or pay a plantation owner to borrow a couple of slaves for work. It is very rare to have someone that lived in the South and did not have a connection or touchhold to slavery. Of course, all of this is to say that the United States relied very heavily on slave labor to provide anything, in any crops, any agriculture, anything like that. What is very different in the United States as opposed to other countries that practice slavery, because that's another thing you'll hear, is that every culture has practiced slavery. Well, not every culture practiced it the way that we did. We practiced chattel slavery, which basically stated that if your mother was a slave, then you were a slave. It didn't matter if your father was the master of the household and he was white. It didn't matter if you came out looking like a white person. If your mother was a slave, you were a slave. That produced a lot of slaves for the United States, and that meant that you could be the 5th or 6th generation of your family that was enslaved in the South. This is very different from other areas where they tended to have older slaves that were maybe teens or adults, and most of them were not kept in slavery once they had children or entire families. They could work off their slavery, or they died in it as well. This is a very complex issue. It can't be reduced to facts and figures and memes. This is something that needs to be studied much harder, but the reason that we don't is because we don't study Reconstruction in this country. We study the Civil War. We brush past what a mess of Reconstruction, because it absolutely failed when Lincoln was assassinated and Johnson took over. And then we go on with our day. But you can't understand the policies and things that have made the United States an unequal country if you don't understand the absolute impact of slavery, the failure of Reconstruction, the popularity of Jim Crow laws, and then how that's gone into issues today.
America was pretty much built on the back of slaves, through the growing of crops such as tobacco and cotton, to the building of the White House, the U.S. Capitol, railroads. Mind you, that obviously they were not compensated. I mean, when you're forced to work to generate profit for other people that own you, that's capitalism. The plantation system was literally capitalism, just an earlier form of it in this country. So what other things did slaves build? They built state universities, canals, roads, agricultural estates, things such as the Trinity Church in New York, Fort Jefferson, a military installation, the University of North Carolina, Monticello in Virginia. Then there's a ton of landmarks that were built because slave owners made their profits off of slaves. For example, Faneuil Hall in Boston, Harvard Law School in Massachusetts, Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. Then you have so many Black inventors that lost the credit for their invention because a white person took credit. But I can make another video getting into that. But after everything that Black people and people of color did for this country, whether it was forced or not, we still sit here to this day and oppress them. And that is just mind-boggling.
This is all I got from this video. And one thing I can say is that the truth is that the system they are dismantling is actually not for people that look like me. They are dismantling the system for themselves. And moreover, Black people want the system to be dismantled. Black and brown people, but I am talking for Black people. Because the system that was built wasn't built for them. The system was built for other people. So if there is anything they are dismantling, they are not dismantling it in favor of my people. They are dismantling it in their own favor. I understand Black unity, okay? Other people of color unity. I am not going to guarantee anybody that I want to talk more on other people of color, their unity with my people and all that, because I cannot speak for my people. My people will be the one to speak for themselves. They know when they think it is right for the unity, because so far you all have backstabbed them several times. Each time they want to build with, Black people have been building with everybody. Each time they want to bring you people closer and all that, you always still tell them that the reason why they shouldn't build with you. So if there is need for unity and community, my people already have community. It's something that they don't, you can call my people anything, but you see community is something that I know that they don't joke with. And they don't also care if you are Hispanic or Latino. If they also want to build with you, they will still build with you. You know, I keep telling Black people that when something happened to Jimmy Kimmel, right? Every Black people pulled up. Right? Is he not a white man? He's a white man, but there are still some good people that Black people know that they can stand with. When they said that, what's this young man's name? Bad Bunny was going to perform in a halftime show for Super Bowl. What did Black people pulled up? They said, you see what? We love it. Let it happen. That is how supportive Black people are. Black people are the people that will put anything aside and support the right people. One thing I love about them is that they are always on the right side of history, and there is nothing as beautiful as that. It's rare to see them on the wrong side of history, except for the coons. Because where there are good people, there are also coons. But you can't tell me that you have more of bad people than the good people in your community. And you are calling Black, there is need for community. Are you people really ready and willing? So for that, I ain't saying shit. My people will be the one to talk on it. Let's continue. One thing I know about enslavement is that, truth be told, these people are very scared already. If you look around, majority of the things they are, because how did Stephen Miller come out to say that left for him is going to be 100 million people that look like him in the United States? Okay, I will keep that aside. Before we know what is going on, what's this one's name? Stephen Bannon came out to say that they are cooked, that they might go to prison. The other one again, Mike Johnson, right, coming out to say that they are also cooked, with some other people going around to say that it looks like they are become J.D. Vance. If you look around, you definitely will see why they want J.D. Vance to be on the other side, because he married a brown woman. So everything about them wants to be white because they want to take that power. They feel like they are already losing the power, and you and I can also actually feel it. That's why they are still very scared of Black people. If you ask them, what is it that scares you about Black people? They tell violence. But has Black people ever shown to you any violence act or anything that tells you that they are not? No. So how come each time they ask, you said you are scared? Scared of what? Black people that you have lived with for how many decades? Each day you wake up, you want to tell me that you are scared of. What did you do? What did you do? Because if you did not do anything, you will not be scared. It is only when you did something bad that you will be scared. I don't wake up as an adult that I am, telling you that I am scared of maybe for example, my sister, right? What did you do to her that you are scared? Or what did she do to you that you are scared? Like, what is it? Let me know why you're scared. Nothing. They just scared of what they did to you. Because each time we tell them violence, because last I checked, my people are not the violent ones. How is this hard for you to understand? You won't pay reparations. And you know who built the country. It was built on the back of Black people, their sweat and blood. And each time they talk about reparations, your ears are blocked. You better be scared. You all better be scared, because whatever you think is coming is coming. On a very serious note, whatever they think is coming is absolutely coming. I will draw my curtain here. Bye.